For the last decade, the electric vehicle narrative has been dominated by a single expensive question: who can catch Tesla? But while the world was watching the luxury giants fight over the $50,000 price bracket, a quiet revolution was brewing in South Korea. There was a time, not so long ago, when the idea of a fully established legacy automaker offering a high-tech, long-range electric vehicle for $18,000 sounded like pure fantasy. It was the flying car of the auto industry, promised by many, delivered by none. But reports suggest that the game has officially changed. Hyundai has reportedly unveiled a new challenger, the Eleccio, and it is sending legitimate shockwaves through boardrooms from Texas to Shenzhen. This isn't just another hatchback, it is being positioned as a market killer. The industry is currently in a frenzy, asking one terrifying question: what happens to Tesla, BYD, and Volkswagen when a car with premium features and flagship-level range hits the market at an entry-level price? Is this the moment Hyundai leapfrogs the entire industry? Because if the leaked specs regarding its range and technology are even half true, we aren't just looking at a new car, we are looking at the end of the EV premium era. Today, we are going deep into the strategy, the tech, and the terrifying economics behind Hyundai's boldest gamble yet. To truly understand the threat this new vehicle poses, we have to look at the chessboard. You cannot appreciate the Eleccio without understanding the sheer aggression of Hyundai's recent pivot. Historically, Hyundai was the value option, the car you bought because it was sensible, not because it was revolutionary. But over the last 3 years, they have executed one of the most aggressive corporate pivots in automotive history. They didn't just dip a toe into EVs, they dove in head first. The Hyundai Motor Group, which includes their sister brand Kia, has already moved over 500,000 electric units. The Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6 didn't just sell, they swept the awards, grabbing World Car of the Year titles and proving that legacy auto could outdesign the startups. Why this sudden frantic speed? The answer lies in the regulatory walls closing in. The European Union, the United States, China, and India are all tightening the noose on internal combustion engines. Hyundai realized early on that they had two choices: adapt instantly or die slowly. Unlike Toyota, which hesitated, Hyundai launched the dedicated Ioniq sub-brand in 2021, signaling they were all in. But they noticed a gap. While the Ioniq 5 is a masterpiece, it is expensive. The middle class, the massive ocean of buyers in South America, Southeast Asia, and parts of Europe, was being left behind. Tesla's promised $25,000 car is still a ghost. BYD is cheap but faces political headwinds in the West. This created a vacuum. Hyundai realized that if they could take the trust of their brand and combine it with the pricing of a Chinese startup, they wouldn't just compete, they would dominate. This brings us to the core philosophy behind the Eleccio. The automotive world is currently fighting a range war, but Hyundai is starting a price war. The target price of $18,000 is not random, it is a psychological threshold. It is the price point where an electric car becomes cheaper to buy and own than a gas-powered Corolla or Civic. If Hyundai hits this, the argument against EVs evaporates for millions of people. But how? How do you sell a car for $18,000 without going bankrupt? The secret isn't magic, it is ruthless supply chain management. Reports indicate that Hyundai is leveraging a China-first production strategy for this model. By utilizing the massive, established electronic supply chains in China, where components from motors to microchips are abundant and cheap, they have slashed overheads. They are effectively combining South Korean engineering standards with Chinese manufacturing economics. It is a controversial move, but economically, it is a masterstroke. Let's talk about the machine itself. Usually, when you hear budget EV, you picture stripped-down interiors, plastic wheels, and a design that screams compromise. The Alexio appears to be rejecting that trope entirely. First impressions suggest a vehicle that looks less like an economy car and more like a concept vehicle that escaped the studio. The exterior adopts a futuristic minimalism. The front fascia is dominated by a sleek, continuous LED light bar, a signature borrowed from the more expensive Ioniq siblings. This isn't just aesthetic, it is aerodynamic. Every curve, from the flush door handles to the specifically sculpted wheel arches, is designed to slice through the air. In the EV world, drag is the enemy of range. By making the car slippery, Hyundai can squeeze more miles out of a smaller, cheaper battery. The lighting signature utilizes the parametric pixel design language. It's a retro-modern look that gives the car a distinct personality, separating it from the jelly bean shapes of other small EVs. Even the color palette, metallic grays, pearl whites, and electric blues, is targeted squarely at a younger demographic who wants tech, not just transportation. Now here's the kicker. The aspect of this car that has the competition sweating isn't the paint job, it's the power source. To achieve that $18,000 price tag while maintaining decent range, Hyundai has reportedly turned to LFP technology, lithium iron phosphate batteries. For years, the industry relied on nickel-cobalt batteries. They are energy-dense but incredibly expensive and prone to thermal issues. LFP batteries, however, are the game changer. They are cheaper to produce because they don't use rare cobalt. They are chemically stable, meaning the risk of fire is significantly lower, and crucially, they can be charged to 100% daily without degrading the battery life, something you can't do with standard lithium-ion packs. This is the same tech Tesla is quietly moving to for its base models. By adopting LFP, Hyundai is prioritizing longevity and safety over raw performance, which is exactly what a mass-market buyer wants. Let's address the elephant in the room, the range claims. Early reports are throwing around a massive number, up to 700 kilometers on a single charge. Now, we need to pause here and look at this with a critical eye. This figure is likely based on the CLTC, the China Light Duty Vehicle Test Cycle. The CLTC is notorious for being optimistic. It tests cars in ideal conditions, low speeds, lots of stop and go, which EVs love, and no heavy AC usage. However, even if we apply a real-world filter to that number, the math is still impressive. A 700-kilometer CLTC rating often translates to a real-world range of about 450 to 500 kilometers. For an $18,000 car, 500 kilometers of real range is unheard of. That covers not just your daily commute, but your weekend road trip too. It is reported that the vehicle will come with two battery pack options, a smaller 64 kilowatt-hour pack for the city dweller and a larger 88 kilowatt-hour variant for the long-distance driver. This tiered approach allows buyers to pay only for the range they actually need, further keeping the entry price low. Range is nothing without charging speed. The Elio is built on the architecture of the eGMP platform, which is famous for its high-speed charging capabilities. The claim is that the car can charge from 30% to 80% in just 25 to 30 minutes using a DC fast charger. Simply put, you plug in, order a coffee, scroll through your phone, and by the time you're done, you have another 400 kilometers of range. This effectively kills the range anxiety argument. For home charging, the LFP battery is robust enough to handle overnight charging day in and day out without degradation. Furthermore, Hyundai is future-proofing this vehicle with advanced thermal management. One of the biggest complaints about EVs is that they die in the winter. The LEO's reported battery management system actively regulates temperature, ensuring that the car doesn't lose half its range when the thermometer drops below freezing, a crucial feature for markets in Europe and North America. But does it drive like a golf cart? Apparently not. Hyundai understands that the instant torque of an EV is a major selling point. The LEO is expected to come in two drivetrain configurations, a single-motor rear-wheel drive efficiency model and a dual-motor all-wheel drive performance model. The base specs are rumored to push out around 214 horsepower. For a compact car, that's legitimately quick. We are talking about a 0 to 100 kilometers